It's good to be back.
Oh,
it's good to have you back.
Here. It's good to be here because I'll tell you, baseball, I'm like Will Rogers. I never saw a game I didn't like.
Yeah, I'm with you, and we hope that you folks feel the same tonight. Thanks for inviting us into your home. When we come back, a look at Kelly Johnson now. This piece of hitting and all the hitting he has done, it was fun to watch, but it wasn't that play. Actually, Joe talked about what Kirk Gibson enjoyed the most. Network movie in theaters October 1st. Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
And the roof is open here at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. Final homestand of the season as the Diamondbacks get set to take on the LA Dodgers. Jody Jackson with you on the field. Now, the offense really piled up the runs against the Rockies in the three-game sweep. Kelly Johnson led the way with 3 homers, including his 25th home run last night, a career best. But it wasn't the home run. It wasn't the power that impressed Kirk Gibson the most. It was a heads-up play in the field. Take a listen to our Geico quote of the game from Gibby.
My favorite part of that play is when Kelly immediately turned it through to first, which tells me he had his head on a swivel or he had good communication from Stephen Drew. And I've talked about that for years. I was a teammate of Alan Trammell's for many, many years, and that's one of the things. That makes he's either out or he's safe based upon that transaction or that transfer. And CY did his job. He made a good throw. And Kelly, you go back and watch that. Kelly got it. He didn't turn around and take a look. Do I throw it? He knew. And those are the finer points of a game that will help you win.
It is the details that are so important. Tonight it's keep the bats hot for Barry as Barry Enright tries to come back from a couple of poor outings tonight and get the win against the Dodgers.
Torre, the 1971 Most Valuable Player. We don't talk enough about Joe Torre, the baseball player. That's what he has done as a manager. Will he manage again next year? As we know that Torre has Trent Olchin leading it off, Ryan Theriot, Andre Ethier. Over the next week or so, we will hear from Joe Torre. We had a chance to sit down with him at length today before the ball game. There is Olchin. Now, do you folks remember the Australian from last year? As we are underway, he exploded onto the scene here in Arizona. In his first 5 games as a Diamondback, he was 12 of 24 with 5 home runs. Gives that one a ride to center field. Always flashing that big smile ear to ear as Olchin played with Milwaukee and LA in AAA. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup penciled in by Torre. Theriot, Ethier, Jay Gibbons was an independent league ball last year, longtime Oriole. Loney, Russell Mitchell, A.J. Ellis, Chin-Lung Hu, and Clayton Kershaw.
Favorite name, Hu. Oh, wouldn't that be great to autograph Hu? 2 letters. He beats Mel Ott.
That's right, he does beat Mel Ott.
Yeah. I've always, Ron Say was another one of my favorites. Man, I spent 5 minutes writing it out there.
1-0 the count. 1-1 the count. Let's talk a bit about Barry Enright. The numbers delivered by the UPS store. Last 3 starts he has struggled. The body of work overall, there's nothing at all to worry about if you're looking at the body of work. A sub-4 ERA. This is his major league debut. But his last 3 starts he has struggled. What are your thoughts, Joe, when you have watched him and been a part of his development?
I like the way he pitches because he moves the ball around and he changes speeds. He had great confidence in those pitches, and he wasn't afraid to come inside. You got to pitch inside.
Slow curveball after the harder slider. As that one is popped up, Ryan Theriot, former Cub, he is erased. Ethier is next, but first the defense. Ryle, Young, Gillespie, infield. Reynolds, Abreu at short. Kelly Johnson, Adam LaRoche. And John Hester catches Barry Enright. Miguel Montero and his lovely wife anticipating the birth of their child. So Miguel not with the team. Best of luck. Godspeed to the Montero family. Valley native, Valley resident still, except for in baseball season, Andre Ethier.
He's got a unique way of working out. He works out in gym shoes and then puts his spikes on. He says he wears out 3 pairs of shoes a year. I said, well, you wear 6 pairs. You ought to wear out some of them. He's a good hitter, man.
He is, and with not a lot of good hitters around him this year, he has still managed to have a respectable year. 23 homers, 78 RBIs. The Diamondbacks know he's a good hitter because of those numbers.
Oh, 340.
For you, Joe, and Ethier has been called this, what's the definition of a clutch hitter?
I've always struggled with that word clutch hitter, and I'm going to give you a good example in just a minute when I get a little bit of time. Not so much a clutch hitter, a clutch play.
The 3-0, let's watch. That one is driven right field. We'll have a chance to talk at length about that. Andre Ethier has been called that. Late hits, late in ball games. Is it clutch? What is a clutch player? Joe will enter into that discussion in a bit. Very, very happy fan. That's what it's all about.
He made a clutch catch right there. The crowd looking on, and he caught it.
That smile's priceless, isn't it, Joe?
Oh, hey, listen, that's what it's all about.
He did the right thing. He had no idea where it was headed, but Mr. Gillespie, you did the right thing there. Well, we talked about Chris Young coming on the air. We won't lose sight of what we were talking about here as we went to break. We'll set the scene, though, for you. It's Young, Abreu, and Kelly Johnson against one of the best young pitchers in the game, and it's getting to be where he's head and shoulders above his peers, and that's Clayton Kershaw. He fires strike one, 0-1 the count. The numbers back it up. He's won 12 games. He's got a sub-3 ERA. A massive total with regard to strikeouts. He has more strikeouts than innings of work. What number jumped out at you there?
And look at the ratio of strikeouts against walks. 81 base on balls, and I'm sure some of those were pitch arounds like that.
About 2.5 to 1 for a young pitcher. A power pitcher, too.
The first pitch strike. Best pitch in baseball.
That pitch is high. 1-2 the count.
Dodgers players, they wear their caps a long time, and that's sweat. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, the salt from the sweat.
Must be. Jimmy Carroll's got a hat, needs an oil change. I saw him before during batting practice, but I guess it's his lucky cap.
I like it.
You do?
I like that look. Broken bat roller. Mitchell is there, and he shoots it on across. Quickly, the lineup for the Diamondbacks. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Young, Abreu, Kelly. Then it's Mark Reynolds, Adam LaRoche, Rusty Ryle. Hester catches. Gillespie is in right, and Barry Enright is on the mound. So now Tony Abreu. So this discussion that we got into because of Dodgers right fielder Andre Ethier, who has over the last half decade more walk-off hits than anyone in the game. Is he clutch? Does that term even need to be applied to a baseball player?
I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because a guy who hits and drives in a winning run or tying run or whatever it is, he's got a thing Pete Reese, the great outfielder, used to call inner arrogance. I know I'm good, but I don't wear it on my sleeve. Ethier is like that.
High pop out to the man we were speaking of just seconds ago. Inner arrogance. Boy, is that a beautiful way to describe it. Who was that?
Pete Reese.
That's
outfielder. It says it all. I know I'm good. I know I can hit, but he doesn't wear it on his sleeve. It's in his heart. And when he's in that batter's box, he doesn't panic or anything else. He's as cool as he can be in that batter's box. He's just watching. It's just like when they say, a guy hits a 19 hopper through the infield, and they'll say, that was a clutch hit. 2 feet over. Last night, Tulowitzki's home run went foul. He couldn't control it. Brock was right. Brock says when the pitcher releases the ball, it's a battle between you and the ball, not you and the pitcher. And even the line drive that was barely foul. But I tell you, I remember the World Series when the Yankees were playing and everybody froze on the pop fly and Billy Martin came on the mound and caught it, a dead run. He's a clutch player. Come on.
1-2 the count to Kelly Johnson.
You could label him a clutch player if you want, but he knows he can hit. He doesn't need a label.
That tough breaking ball in the dirt. Johnson goes down on strikes. Opts not to run. Clutch or not? Now that is the question.
go hand in hand because you can't necessarily commit until you trust. So my feeling is, and I like to think I was this way as a player, as a manager,
Began his career as a player manager back in the mid-'70s and '77, Joe Torre in New York. Sends Jay Gibbons to the plate to lead things off against Barry Enright. So you get a phone call and you're no longer the second or third string catcher, you're the manager. And didn't do much winning for about 3 seasons, did he?
No. But I tell you, he's turned out to be a good, solid manager. And his face never betrays him, man. He's got that same expression all the time.
Gibbons has fought his way back to the major leagues. As we mentioned, was playing in Newark last year. Busy hitting only .233. A proven big leaguers. Years back in Baltimore. 20 or more homers 3 times as an Oriole. But finally this year, Dodgers gave him a chance in the minors. Hit nearly .350 in 95 games. Just hangs around. That is a great way to describe, though, the stoicism of Joe Torre.
Oh, yeah. He's got a great sense of humor. I tell you, we've all learned that. I've got 2 pieces of film and tape that are priceless.
High fly ball, well struck into left center field. Young is in the move. Nice play, Chris Young, as he runs it down. Let's listen to Joe Torre. We won't lose sight of that play, though. But Joe, on the Joe Torre way, once he walks away from managing, what was that way? What will they say about it?
I need to have total commitment. You know, this is a way of life. It's not a game we play. And, you know, to me, trust and commitment go hand in hand because you can't necessarily commit until you trust. So my feeling is, and I like to think I was this way as a player, as a manager, I want players to trust me. But trust is something you earn. You can't demand for them to trust you. You want them to, but you have to earn that.
Commitment.
And trust. I think Gibby's got that right now. I mean, when he talked about the play that Young and Johnson made, both of them knew exactly what they wanted to do. After Young threw that ball, or caught that ball, he threw it to the cutoff man right now.
Russell Mitchell is in the hole, 0-1. Young man out of Cartersville, Georgia, was a 15th round pick of the Dodgers back in '03. Had a big year under the watchful eye of Tim Wallach in AAA. There were many who thought that Tim Wallach may be the skipper that actually took over for Joe next year in Los Angeles instead of Don Mattingly. 1-2.
I was talking to Torre, who's an old friend. We worked as broadcasters together, and we talked about his coaches. He said the 2 coaches he really wanted were Boa and Mattingly. And he said Mattingly will be a good manager.
Russell Mitchell, fly ball center field. That's a can of corn. Now that one is easy, but he's making plays like this look easier and easier every day. One of the 11 reasons to look forward to 2011. Measure up a bit of revenge in this 3-game series. Every time a Diamondback hits a homer this season, Fulton Holmes donates $150 to the Youth Assistance Foundation. Mark does have 32 of them. And he looks at a fastball that sails just a little bit high. 1-0 the count to Mark, hitting at an even 200. Fought off as that pitch was in, and that's kind of one of baseball's dirty numbers, isn't it? You don't like to ever dip below that.
No, you don't, and you just wonder how much pressure is on him. Batting fourth, cleanup, hitting 200. What is Gibby trying to do? He's got something in mind, and he's going to find out.
The 1-1 to Mark.
Well, that was Sir Charles. That was not Uncle Charlie. Sir Charles. Oh, what an equalizer. There's nothing you can do when a pitcher throws a curveball like that.
22-year-old left-hand out of Dallas, Texas, throws another breaking ball that stays up, but it tied up Reynolds. And so he puts that one on the ground. Defensively for the Dodgers, Gibbons, Olchen, Ethier, Mitchell and Loney anchor, and Hu and Terrio in the middle. Ellis catches Kershaw. Hu, native of Taiwan. A couple of years back, he was an elite prospect, and he hasn't quite reached the levels that they had hoped. 26 years old.
You know that's a vicious curveball he's throwing. When LaRoche looks like that, Kelly Johnson looked terrible on his strikeout swing. This kid's got real good stuff, man.
Well, and he's a lefty that throws almost all fastballs. I mean, he throws 7 out of 10 fastballs. So if those are your secondary pitches, Joe, and you command them and they're that effective, that's why you're so good.
You're so good, and every time you walk out, you're liable to pitch a no-hitter.
I don't think anybody would ever argue with the fact that these handful of pitchers that are on that list likely to throw a no-hitter, he's one of them.
Oh, no question about it. It was like watching Koufax pitch. Every time he walked out, you thought, is today going to be the day?
A Dodger left-hander. He wore number 32. This young man wears his age right now on his jersey of 22. Tell me a little more about Sandy. I always do this to you about players, but he's one that I would go in the time machine if I could have. One of the old teammates of my father.
Let's wait till this pitch.
1-2 the count. Pulled the string back on him, and down goes LaRoche.
Koufax, when he went out to the mound, of course you ask him, well, what made you a good pitcher? He said, when I wasn't afraid to let them hit the ball. But he was always in command. In the World Series, I worked that World Series, he made Mickey Mantle look like Ned the third reader. I mean, he'd throw him fastballs and then he'd snap off that curveball. Mantle says he's unhittable. Just unhittable. How many pitchers can you say that about?
Rusty Ryle with a high fly ball into right center field. Putting it away is former Diamondback Trent Olchen. Young left-hander, gifted, talented. Well, they hope he's half as good. So A.J. Ellis to lead things off. Chin Lung Hu bats second. Clayton Kershaw. As we hit you up with 7, 8, 9. So far so good for the young right-hander Barry Enright. Every out in the air, but he's a fly ball pitcher. He's given up some homers, 17 already. Right-hander out of Stockton, California. There's that slider. As we'll hear in a bit, it's a pitch that, it's not that he forgot about it, just didn't throw it like he should have.
Well, you get in a groove with the other pitch, you fall in love with it. There's a romance going on.
A little bit low, and the count is 3-0. It's a real fast game. You know, at this level, and you get here and you're having some success. As that one misses outside. He had stopped using his slider like he wanted to, and he gives us a little bit of a tour inside of his mind as to why.
Obviously, I threw to two different catchers as I came up. You know, it's hard to learn everybody. You know, it's hard to know every single person. And you know, as the season goes on, you know, as people get tired, also you pay less attention, I would say, to detail. And so, you know, I think it got overshadowed for me. You know, kind of losing my slider, not throwing as much throughout the start since I was throwing well. But now, kind of having to revert back to comfort zone and not being there as much, you know, it's making it a little more difficult. We've been working on it, you know, going to the bullpen, kind of, you know, trying to, like I said, get back to that slider, get back to the person who I am.
Get back to the person who I am. That may have been the most important part of what he said. Who pops that one up? Kelly Johnson is there, and he puts it away. It can be real easy after one tough outing, even if you've dominated in a bunch of others, to quickly change what got you here, correct?
No question about that, and that's the problem. He has yet to learn that the catcher merely suggests. I don't care what Chris Snyder said on that Saturday broadcast when he said, if you just follow what I put down. You're the pitcher. You have the ball. You're in control, and you have to throw it with confidence. And that's what he was not doing.
And he said the other part about it, which I thought was telling folks, and Joe, obviously, in that quick thought we heard from him, that things were going so well. So I wasn't really analyzing much of anything. Not that you should overanalyze, but I kind of forgot about what got me here.
What got me here is going to keep me here.
And for him, Mr. Enright, he has to hit bats.
He's not going to overpower you. You watch him warm up on the sidelines, and he's not going to pop your glove. But in the game, he's in and out, changing speeds, throws a good slider, and he's gone back to it.
That's a curveball, and it misses outside. 1-1 the count.
As hard as they're charging from first and third, it's almost like you want to go out there as the catcher and say, throw a batting practice fastball. Let him bunt the ball so the fielder can get it, and maybe we can get the guy going into second base.
We watch Reynolds. LaRoche comes on, and he hacks at it. Misses.
Swung too hard. That's the play that Casey Stengel used to call the butcher boy play. You chop down on the ball and just hit it towards the infielder because he's charging hard. And when he sees you swing, he's thinking about his family and does my insurance run out?
1-2 the count. Well, there's a big out and a strikeout.
That's a tough play. I was going to say that's a tough play to switch off and swing because you have a tendency to swing too hard, and all you really have to do is put the bat on the ball. But it's great in the broadcast booth.
It is great. It's a great name, too, that Casey gave it, the Butcher Boy
Butcher Boy play, yeah. Now watch him. Now he's going to slide the bat down, and the ball was by him. The ball was absolutely by him.
Breaking ball up, a curveball, but he gets strike one. Yeah, slapped down on the baseball. That's interesting. We don't when we see that play occur, remind ourselves enough that that's what you're trying to do.
Put the ball in play on the ground and right at the infielder who's charging hard.
See, that's interesting. You would think as the casual fan, and on that play I am because I have never played in this level, you would think that it would be to try and find a hole.
No way. Just put the bat on the ball. That's all you have to do. Look how hard they're charging. Look how hard he's in it. Not much room there.
He's coming to you. You just get it to him.
That's right. I mean, your complexion can change when you see that bat coming at you.
Not interested in that high fastball. 1-2 the count. But Enright will walk the tightrope, to go back to what we were talking about. His whole career, if it's to be a successful one, he's a fly ball pitcher. Now, he had higher strikeout rates in the minor leagues, but hasn't experienced that here in the big leagues. That pitch is high.
But he's been wild consistently high, which indicates that he's not going into the pitch. I mean, he's letting it go a little bit high. But he'll find it. He's got pretty good stuff on it. He's got pretty good speed on it. I'm sure Mel Stottlemyre Jr. is looking at him pretty closely. He'll have something to say to him between innings.
2-2 the count. There's Mel. Mel was the one with Enright working on everything. Some of the stuff Joe's talking about, and the slider as well. 2-2. A breaking ball down the line. It's in there. Hustling on around. Come on down. They say, and the catcher, A.J. Ellis, who scores all the way from first. And a triple for Trent Wolchuk. And an RBI is first in the big leagues this year. First triple in the big leagues this year as well.
Breaking ball, and he just stayed right with it. See that spin, and he hits it hard. Missing the cutoff man cost him.
That was a plodding catcher there, too, by the way. He kept looking for that baseball because Joe Ellis wasn't moving very well.
No. He kept looking for the coach to hold him up is what he was looking for.
1-0 the count to Ryan Theriot. You could run a bit, though, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Are you serious? I hope you're not. No, I could not run. I really couldn't.
It's always that obvious, as that one is fouled into the seats, the obvious description of speed. He runs well, comma, for a catcher.
Always, always. And I saw a scouting report by a bona fide scout, who I'll not name, who said I had a above average arm, fair power, speed, slower than he looks.
Over the outside.
Now, what does that mean?
That's pretty slow, Joe.
Yeah. I think I stole, I don't know what, 9 bases in all the years I played. And probably 5 of them were on double steal.
Chase is high, up and out of the zone. Credit that he recovered, but it was Olchin that made him pay. Former Diamondback, 1-0 is the score. The Aussie drives in the lone run in the game to this point. by Robeson Resort Communities. Not 5, but 6 Arizona communities. And by Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far. I tell you, Kurt Zacher, we've liked to call him the Zach-O-Matic the last couple of days. He's a stats machine over there. He got to work on your speed throughout your career.
You know what I just learned?
What's
with
that?
The numbers? That Robeson has one more community than I had steals.
You're right.
I can't believe that. I mean, the man is building towns. You know what's embarrassing? I'll tell you what's embarrassing is to be on the tail end of a double steal and they throw a second base and get you.
Uh-oh.
Let the guy go to third.
It's a longer throw, though, out there to second, isn't it?
Yeah, but they got more time.
It's true. John Hester goes down on strikes, but you did have 16 triples.
Big ballpark, Forbes Field.
Still a good number.
When you say that, I remember. I shouldn't. No, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, now people are hanging on the edge of their seats. Come on.
All right.
Gillespie in the center field. 2 outs in the inning. So we're dying to know.
I hit a triple, and Bill Posdell at Pittsburgh is our third base coach. He said, "There's nobody out, now stay here." I said, "Bill, I haven't been here since Ash Wednesday. Where am I going to go?" He looked at me. He didn't know what to say. A triple was real foreign country to me. It really was. I couldn't get there with a passport.
Barry Enright can handle the bat a little bit. Oh, boy. A tough play over there. Great writer for MLB.com. Steve Gilbert dropped that one. Been a tough year for him. I mean, he is a fabulous writer.
He's a good writer on typewriter or a computer, but I tell you, those hands, he must work out with a Black & Decker or something.
I think he does. And
they're made of iron.
And that's the ultimate compliment, I think, to be a great writer and to have a Hall of Famer kind of analyzing your defense or lack thereof.
That's what we're analyzing.
Down goes Enright on strikes. Very quick inning. 1, 2, 3. Kershaw. For this young left-hander, it's been a quick game so far. So far, perfect through 3 innings. We'd like to invite you to weigh in. Join us on FoxSportsArizona.com. Will Joe Torre manage in 2011? Click on the weigh-in icon. If so, where and why? Will he? And if you think he will, if so, where and why? I had a chance to talk to him, certainly more formally. I don't have the relationship that you do. I know we'll hear his thoughts in just a moment. What did you take away? I know some of it was private in your conversation.
Well, I don't think it was a snap judgment decision. I think it was something he thought about. He thought about his family and that thing called trust and commitment. And I think he's ready now for a new challenge.
That one hits down the line. Andre Ethier's picking him up and pulling him down. It's been a tough go of it right. So Ethier will head on over. Gillespie's had a tough time with a couple of balls. The one that Olchin hit out there, and now Ethier ends up at third. And it's a triple. Left fielder Joe Gibbons. Well, if you aggressively try to go after a ball in that pachinko machine there in the corner, it can be tough.
Oh, it'll eat you up.
Fastball is in.
The way that was bouncing around reminded me of the old Ebbets Field, Brooklyn, when they had all the nooks and crannies, and if they hit, you couldn't practice it. It's like playing in Fenway, too, off the left field wall. You can try to practice it, but it just doesn't work.
Breaking ball, fly ball. Gibbons just drove in a run because tagging and coming on down is Andre Ethier. 2-0 is the score, and for Gibbons, that's his 17th RBI back in the big leagues this year. Well, he cashed right away in on that one. Here's James Loney. '81 runs batted in with just 9 home runs. As there's a strike, but you think he thought it, Joe Torre, you think he thought it through pretty thoroughly.
Oh, yeah, he didn't make a snap decision. He's been sitting on this for a while. I'm not so sure he's going to manage again.
The 0-1. In on the hands. There to make the play is Abreu. I asked him if he were to manage again and a team were to approach him, what would it take to entice him to put the uniform back on?
If someone felt that I had the ability to pull a team together and make it, you know, be aimed in the right direction, I think I have those capabilities. As I say, communication is very important. Honesty is very important, and I'd like to believe that I'm capable of doing it, whether it's in a group with the whole team or one-on-one. To me, I know we're into the technology age right now, but it's still all about people and being able to go eyeball to eyeball. And to me, it would be a challenge if somebody felt that I had the ability to go in and help a team head in the right direction.
What are your thoughts when you hear that?
My thoughts are mixed.
1 and 2.
I don't think he's managed a long time. He's been successful. That thing about going to the Mets is not what he said. It was taken out of context.
Sure.
I think he's got plans. He wants to stay in baseball, whether it be an executive level or whatever. I don't think he wants to scout.
Fastball, fly ball into left field. We've heard Joe's insights, and very wise insights, certainly, about that Joe down in the dugout. Look forward to hearing yours as well. Glad to have you back at the ballpark. Fans enjoying the ball game. Pandemonium, by the way. Not too late to get tickets. Pandemonium weekend presented by the Arizona Lottery. That means fans can win tons of great prizes all game long. As Kershaw goes back to work with a breaking ball that is high. You don't want to miss out on all the fun. 2 more games. If you're young or if you're an oldster. 602-462-4794. dbacks.com. Boy, was that a beautiful shot there. 1-1. Chases and couldn't do really much with it. As he pops up to the right side. I tell you, he's getting that secondary stuff over. So you get swings like that at fastballs because you feel obliged to, don't you?
Well, you're looking for it, and you get a pretty good swing, but he's got a lot of movement on that fastball. You could see that thing was darting. I mean, I don't know about 4-seamers, 2-seamers, cutters, and sailors, but I know a fastball when it moves.
Here's Tony Abreu. That's right down the middle, 0-1.
I tell you what, I'd send the clubhouse guy out to see if this guy drove here because he's pitching like he's double parked.
I think you're right. And I think he did. It's a ball. It's a foul ball. Anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, they'd love to start with 1 tonight, by the way. Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the next day. Well, let's see, Joe. He's shown 28 strikes and 7 that have missed out of the zone. There's another strike. It's a foul ball.
Late. He was late on it. He's got a kind of a little quirk in his delivery, and it's hard to pick up, but I tell you what, he works fast. Work fast, throw strikes, your infield's ready, you're ready, and here we go.
In the dirt, just got a piece of that one. Looks like got a piece of the home plate umpire as well.
Jim Joyce got it. He got whacked pretty good, boys.
Oh, man. Coming in to check on him, Marvin Hudson, his colleague. Darryl Cousins, Jim Wolf, those are the men in black. Dave Edwards will come out and check on him.
But you notice the first guy was the catcher, A.J. Ellis. He kind of talked to him and let the umpire get some breathing room. Umpire will do that when the catcher gets hit many times. Now watch the catcher. He'll turn around. He sees his man is hurt, and he's going to try to buy some time. There's a hidden good relationship between the catcher and the umpire.
One of my favorite little nuances about the game is that you just described. We were talking the other day, Joe, and I don't know if you were at the ballpark or listening at home about as the 1-2 is strike 3. And a very solid pitch. Jim Joyce rings him up. We're talking about catchers, and only catchers can truly understand catchers. It's a fraternity that you guys can explain it to us, but I would imagine when you get a bunch of you in the same room, you just talk a different language.
Well, you use English words, but it is a different
language.
That's
what I mean.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. I mean, that was the thing. I was so disappointed in Snyder that night. I mean, you know, talking about, well, if he's just got to throw the pitch that I put the fingers down. No, it's not that easy, man.
Kelly Johnson takes a pitch a little bit low.
He made Johnson look bad on the curveball. Kelly remembers that.
Amica Insurance home run zone for Johnson. Into right field. There's your first hit of the ball game. Comes off the bat of hard hitting Kelly Johnson.
Boy, say what you want, but that guy is a pretty good hitter. He has really showed it this year. I think that average is so misleading.
Well, he's a slugging second baseman, too, Joe. I mean, extra base hits. Not so worried about his batting average at all with what he's able to do.
No.
Plus, he'll take a walk. Well, he's not a guy that swings at everything from dugout to dugout. Ball credits, fly ball, left field. An easy chance there for Gibbons. Did he drop that ball? He was pulling it out. Pulling it out of his glove. And going out to make clearly that call is Wolf. Jim Wolf goes out. Got it? Is he reaching? Yep, he is. Right back to live action. 1-0 the count on catcher A.J. Ellis. They have just wrapped up the ball game in Denver, Colorado, and San Francisco has edged the Rockies. 2-1 is the final score. Fly ball into shallow center field. It dies out there, and so it's a base hit for A.J. Ellis. He's got a couple of hits. Our AT&T trivia question, as we roll it out, we remind you, San Francisco now leads by 4 1/2 games over the Colorado Rockies. Joe Torre won the 1971 National League MVP. Name as many of the rest of the top 5 vote getters as you can.
In 1971?
1971.
I can't remember 2009.
How about, let's say, oh boy, I'm thinking about this. I don't know. Good ball players in the National League, right?
Yes. Tough question. Give me a new category.
0-1 the count. Chin Lung Hu. We're asking Joe who was on that list. 0-1 the count. How about Roberto Clemente? So he was on that list. Baseball and our world lost him shortly thereafter. By the way, in that Giants game, it's their 18th straight game. San Francisco has given up 3 or few runs.
Pitching, pitching, pitching. Defense, defense. They go hand in hand.
1-1 the count. So you'd take a little bit of pitching, defense, and speed over a bunch of homers, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oof. Speed never goes into a slump. defense will be ready if the pitching is good.
Have you liked what Kevin Towers has had to say about building this team so far, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Talking about a little more contact, a deeper bullpen. 1-1 the count. Just got a piece of it. Sparky Anderson in 1982 was quoted as saying, if you have to choose between power and speed, and it often turns out you have to make that choice, you have to go for speed. In today's baseball, again, this is 82. Pitching is getting so specialized that a team can run a bat in there that doesn't dare consider the big inning. You have to score piecemeal with your legs. You must go for the guys who can steal and who can take the extra base on a hit. Sparky Anderson, 1982. Long before the quote-unquote steroid era.
The key to that is it's not so much stealing as taking the extra base, first and third, and that kind of thing. Mr. Rickey used to always talk about speed never goes into a slump. You can always get by. You can win with speed, whether it be your legs or whether a good fastball from a pitcher.
Popped up into the seats. 1-2 the count again.
If a guy's got a good fastball and you got a low fastball hitter up there, if he's fast enough, he's going to get it by him. You've seen good outfielders misjudge the ball, but their speed will let them catch up with the ball. Oh, I love speed. Wish I had some. So does Mark Grace.
Oh, in real life and in his Legends race.
Yeah. I've watched him in that race.
The 1-2. In, he drives it, but he couldn't keep it fair. Boy, he hit that a long way.
You know, sometimes in that race that we watch with the legends out here, you don't know if Mark is running or walking.
He's that slow. That's true to life, then.
Well, yeah, but it's not a bad thing.
Oh, no. We were documenting your speed earlier.
No one.
1-2 the count to who? He hangs around, just gets a piece of that fastball. Final thought on those Giants in these 18 straight pitching dominated games. They also have made only 4 errors in those 18 games.
You got good pitching, you're going to have good defense.
And in San Diego in the second inning, Cincinnati 1, San Diego nothing. Second inning. Popped up. LaRoche will give it a look. He and Hester get together. Communication 101. And LaRoche makes the play. Pitcher Clayton Kershaw. The outs will be in the air, and he will not miss your bat very often. It's just keeping it off the sweet spot of that bat. Kershaw failed in a bunt attempt, also had a slash attempt when he tried to knock a ball through, ended up with a strikeout back in the third inning. So he bunts it foul. And we showed you folks earlier with regard to counting those sacrifices. This is the best bunter there is in the National League. He's got 17 of them.
Well, I'll tell you what. I would take my chances and say, let up on your fastball and let him bunt the ball so that the infielder can make a play, because Mark Reynolds is really charging hard from third base.
And we've seen Ellis run. That's your runner at first.
Watch Reynolds charge in. I mean, he's right on top. Takes 2 more steps, he can check Kershaw's tonsils. Look at that. He's taking that bat right out of his hands by his positioning.
Runner takes off. It's hit on the ground. Out front, what a play! Kelly Johnson knew it had to be a quick backhanded shovel. That's not his regular double play partner. But Tony Abreu, he's trying to earn a roster spot in 2011. Turned it nicely. All of you to think outside of the box tonight. But the batters, once they get into the box, they're just not very comfortable. Joe, that's Clayton Kershaw. He has been mixing it up nicely, and he has had the Diamondbacks off balance.
He's got good stuff on his fastball. You can see his curveball breaking, and he's throwing strikes. And the infielder and outfielders are ready to make the play.
That's the key part. That's interesting you said that in the end. Working quickly, and you're going to get a few extra good plays behind you, aren't you?
Because you think the ball's going to be hit to you. You know, you got to get away from them. When Guerrero and Sachs were playing together with the Dodgers, when they said, Guerrero, what are you thinking about in a clutch situation? He says, I'm hoping they don't hit it to Saxey, because he was throwing them into the upper deck.
Here's Adam LaRoche. Curve ball. There's that pitch.
Did you see where that ball started? It looked like it was going to be high, looked like it was going to be inside, and it broke over for a strike.
Boom, another off-speed pitch. That one has popped up. Let's go back to the pitch Joe's talking about.
Watch this pitch. Curveball. Looks like it's going to hit him almost. Look where it is. Whoa. Man, that front leg, it just leaves, and you got to talk to it. Stay here with the rest of the body.
The 0-2. Pulled the string on him. Down he goes on strikes. That looked like the slider, so he'll throw the big, high breaking curveball, then the harder slider. LaRoche has struck out a couple of times.
I tell you, that's not the easiest thing in the world to face a left-hand pitcher like that. You don't see that much with right-hand pitchers against right-hand hitters, do you?
No, you don't. The dramatic difference?
Yeah.
Quest high-speed internet, high-speed pitch. Kershaw touching 95, Enright 92. Quest a team partner of the Diamondbacks. One and one the count. I think they're just fewer of both, obviously. Fewer left-handed pitchers, fewer left-handed hitters, so the likelihood of the matchup is less. Overthrew that breaking ball. 2-1 the count. Now, Kershaw's last time out was very uninspiring. He went just 4 innings against Colorado. He walked 4, gave up 6 runs. His team eventually won at 7-6. And it was a no decision. He doesn't resemble that pitcher tonight.
Not at all. Not at all.
Last pitched against Arizona the day before Independence Day here in this ballpark. 5 2/3 shutout in a 14-1 rout. That's the other part of it there. That pitch inside.
And his delivery, especially with that center field shot we just showed you, he looks like he's going to come right at you, and then he gives you a little hesitation and then throws it. Good shot. Oh, he tied him up. Lucky he fouled it off.
Came back, doubled up on him. This time he threw a strike with it. 2 outs. You call that doubling up, which tells you what, Joe, that Ryle was looking for something else?
I don't think so with 2 strikes. You freeze. You can't pull the trigger. You want to, but you can't. Watch. He starts and he just watches it go by.
Hester, bouncing ball. It's off the glove of Mitchell. Once he recovers, it'll be an infield hit for John Hester. Diamondbacks will take it. They have the lowest total of infield hits in the National League, though on further review they give that gentleman an error on that play.
Really?
I spoke too soon. They still have the lowest total of infield hits.
Tough error. See, if he didn't have that chew of tobacco in there, he'd have made that play.
See, I tend to agree. I like that. Now I actually can agree, now that I'm off the stuff for like a couple of years.
Good for you.
3 years, to be exact. After 20.
Is that right?
And I thank you for just reminding me.
No, don't thank me. Thank yourself, and your wife thanks you. Your kids.
The 1-0. That one's low. 2-0 the count. Still makes your heart beat pretty regular, doesn't it? A passion of yours.
Oh,
The anti-tobacco efforts.
I just wish they would ban it from fields and television shots, because the youngsters see that and they're going to emulate.
2-0. That's high. He thought he had gotten it there, but it's 3-0 the count.
That may be the first 3-ball count he's had. It is.
A little bit more sweat starting to moisten that salty hat as he pours a strike in there. 3-1 the count.
There's no nonsense out there. He just gets that ball and throws it. But hey, why not? You got that kind of stuff. You just want to get rid of it.
Last year he was 8-8, had a 2.79 ERA though. He just can't square it up at all. Gillespie, it's not that pretty sound off the bat. He's given up just 2 hits in the ballgame. Looking down like Joe Gracie. Whoa, now this is the day, folks. This could be the day,
but we all know
but
he won't
it's
catch
not.
him. Randy
Again.
Johnson wins. That means all fans in section 319.
Yeah, he just forgets to tell his legs, huh?
You got to tell your legs. He keeps it a secret.
That is our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play.
He's got to win before the season's over.
Yes. Just 2 more chances. Those legends don't travel.
Look at that. That's embarrassing.
The 1-0. Olchin takes it with him. Johnson shoving it. Safe. You bet he was safe. He didn't even need to drop in that head first slide. There's that trademark smile we got to know last year when he broke into the big leagues in Arizona.
Perfect bunt. He was safe. And leadoff man gets on now. He's a threat to steal, obviously.
There's that slider, the pitch he said that he almost vacated. Didn't lean on it enough when he needed to. And if you can drop it in for strike 1, that changes an at bat for an opposing hitter. So I wasn't doing it. Oh, 0-1 the count. Ryan Terrio. A little bit more on Trent Olchen. That smile we saw last year. Let's bring Jody in. Jody?
Well, you're right, Darren. It was kind of the feel-good story of 2009. He was called up late in the season. But, you know, I got a story today from Brett Butler, the Reno Aces manager, who's here in the dugout tonight. Before the Reno Aces took the field last year, in that game before Olchen was called up, you know, Brett Butler knew he was going to get called up, but in that game, Olchen went 0 for 5 and booted a couple of balls. So after the game, Butler calls Olchen in and starts to actually, he did something he never does, and that's sort of berate him. You kind of yell at him in front of everyone, and then he called him into his office, and Olchen probably fearing the worst, and Butler said, but that's not why I called you in here. You're going to make your major league debut tomorrow. And, of course, it was the debut against Pittsburgh where he hit the home run, and it was after 9 seasons in the minors, so a meaningful moment for Olchen.
A meaningful play by Reynolds. Long throw. Wow, what a turn! Kelly Johnson was running directly into left field when he turned and threw that ball.
That was a major league play all the way around. Watch the play by Reynolds. That ball was hard hit. Kelly Johnson running away from the bag he has to throw to, gets enough on it for the double play. Look at this. He leaps in the air and puts something on it, and there's no doubt about it.
Nothing better than a fabulous defensive play, is there?
That was a major league double play. I mean, a real, and that's a thing that you overlook about Mark Reynolds at third base, his defensive ability. When that ball goes out to left field, you're first and third.
Popped up, Reynolds again on the move toward the rail. Slips a bit, and then he recovers. Somebody have that removed, says Mark Reynolds. A sniper in the stands. Not that time. And Kelly Johnson, not that time either. Find our fares online only at Southwest.com. By the fast, reliable, secure, heavy-duty internet from Quest. Your Valley Hyundai dealers. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Your Dollars Hyundai, the most fuel-efficient car maker in America. Visit valleyhyundaidealers.com. Here's Barry Enright. And he takes a strike over the inside. Just one hit for the Diamondbacks. It was a Kelly Johnson single back in the 4th. His pitch count is more than manageable. He is at 60.
Oh, he's had pretty good control. He was kind of bait to get a strike on that one.
Enright struck out, handles the bat pretty effectively. 8 hits this year. Look out, watch those spikes as he hopscotches out of the way. Up the ladder, the hot corner at It certainly has been. Russell Mitchell with a leap takes a base hit away from the pitcher who can hit.
Timed it perfectly. His gloves they have now, right in the webbing. Nice play.
One out. Kershaw coming into this inning. First pitch strikes. He had done a great job. 12 of 17. 3 pitches or less. 10 of 17. And 6-0-2 counts.
Used to have a manager, he'd always say, throw or no, pitcher, yeah. This guy's a pitcher.
Well, his late jump at the plate, too.
Yeah, that delivery he has, it's a bit unique. It's a little quirky, but not that quirky. But it'll throw you off. Right there.
High pop off the end of the bat. They were playing deep. Gibbons coming on. He sticks with it. And he is there to make the play for the out. It's great watching that hitch in his delivery. Let's answer our trivia question. Talking about Joe Torre winning that MVP in 1971. 6 years later, he was the manager when he had gone to the Mets. Willie Stargell, Hank Aaron, Bobby Bonds, and Roberto Clemente.
Look.
Curveball, strike one.
It's not even fair to call it a curveball.
That's a slider that stays up and away. You said it's not even an Uncle Charlie, which is an affectionate nickname.
Sir Charles. That pitch will make a broadcaster out of a lot of hitters.
We'll say about that hitter, as a hitter, he's a great broadcaster. We like to talk about Adam Dunn in that same kind of vein. As a first baseman, he's a great hitter. The 2-1. Popped up. They can't square up his fastball, Joe.
No.
I mean, he's coming right down Broadway.
Well, he's coming down.
Not all the time.
But the ball is moving. I mean, you can't see it. It's moving. I mean, I hear you guys talk about 4-seamers and 2-seamers, and the old guy doesn't get it. But
sure.
I know if it's moving, and his fastball is moving. Oof.
3-2 the count. Second 3-ball count of the ball game.
See what he throws here. He'll throw his best pitch, the one he has the most confidence in.
Fastball. He put it on the ground. He continues to steamroll the Diamondbacks through 6. Some of the images from this homestand, which has started off with a sweep of the Colorado Rockies. Greg, Kevin, and Ernie in our tape room. Karen, I should say, doing a great job. Some good pictures. How about that? A sweep of the Rockies, Joe.
Hard to believe.
And they lost again tonight. So the Arizona man delivered one of the early fatal blows to the season of the Rockies.
The Rockies really have the bumpy, tough road to go.
Now, Enright's pieced it together nicely, hasn't he? We've been enamored by Clayton Kershaw, deservedly so, but this workman-like starting pitcher has done what he does so well.
He doesn't have Kershaw's stuff, so you really have to admire his ability.
This is how he pitched, as that one is on the ground. Good-looking curveball. Gibbons is erased. For those first 12 starts, he struggled his last 3. It always felt like you looked up, it was the 6th inning, and, oh, that's right, he's only given up 2 runs again. That's a common reaction for a good Barry Enright outing, for me anyway.
For anybody, if you're paying attention at all. Look at the numbers. Last 3 starts, forget about it. First 12 starts, 2.45.
And a strike thrower. Communication has Rusty Ryle hauling that one in off the bat of Loney. Loney is 0 for 3 tonight.
When you throw strikes, early strikes, the defense is just ready to move. I mean, they know that the ball is going to be hit. They know they got a chance to get it, and they get it.
71 pitches. And never was that more evident than that double play last inning. That one is rolled foul.
You know, looking at the players on just that shot that Cracker Jack crew was going around showing, it showed the guys were ready, eyes wide open. They didn't have the glove off. They weren't scratching. They weren't spitting. They were waiting for the ball because they knew it was going to come in a hurry.
The 0-1. Fouled that one off at the plate. Visit the official online shop of the Diamondbacks on dbacks.com. Jerseys, hats, T-shirts, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Never too early to start your Christmas shopping on dbacks.com. Cartersville, Georgia. 23 home runs in AAA this year. Great job by Hester.
Young catchers, if you saw that, he didn't even put his glove down there. He was going to let that chest protector get in front of that ball and keep it in front of him.
One, two. Slider. That's the pitch he said he needs to remember that he has.
Most pitchers like to throw the pitch they are really confident with on 2-2.
And that one is a slider that he overthrew.
He overthrew it. He had set him up perfectly with that slider. I was going to say fastball. I said, no, I think I'd come back with the slider, but he overthrew that one.
Interesting. It was a slider, and again, he left it up. Went 3 in a row with regard to the slider. Threw one on 3-2, but that one stayed up at the letters.
Catcher A.J. Ellis.
So Mitchell is on with a base hit. It's his 3rd hit in the big leagues this year. 3 of 27. Amica hit zone for A.J. Ellis. Pitches seen, brought to you by Amica Insurance. Right down the middle, 0-1 the count.
First pitch strike. Best pitch in baseball.
Working here with 78 pitches in the 7th inning. There's that slider, and it misses away. 1-1 the count.
If you're going to miss like he just did, which I think he was kind of throwing out some bait to see if he could catch another strike.
That Sedona red hat gets darker around his forehead as some sweat soaks through. And on 1-1, that's a fastball that's fouled off. 1-2 the count. He has been looking forward to this day, as he did before the last start when he got battered around. Kirk Gibson said it best the morning after Enright gave up 6 runs in Pittsburgh, and it was another disappointing loss to the worst team in the National League. He said Barry will not be shut down for the year, and he has already begun preparing for his next start.
He finds out a lot about his players. He found out about Kelly Johnson on that double play they made when Young caught the ball last night.
Slider. Went back to it. It's a ground ball. A little flip to short way. Imagine he's finding a lot out about Barry Enright, Kirk Gibson. Valley Hyundai dealers, 7th inning stretch, your dollars. And I bet he liked what he sees.
About, you know, how you're going to break down the game and some other elements of the postgame show. Do you mind if I take over for just a second?
Go right ahead.
This is just a wish. It's Fandemonium weekend. It's the last Friday night of the season at home. The roof is open. Great crowd. The hated Dodgers are here. You got a goose egg on the board. You know what? You got to find a way to win. Period. Right?
I'm on board.
You're
I'd
in?
love to see the Diamondbacks come back. Give these fans a little glimpse of what maybe next year is going to look like.
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on board.
Okay, good. Because I know that Joe Garagiola knows all about that. That's show business.
All right.
That's entertainment. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Good stuff.
Well, Todd, he's getting to be a reviewer.
Leave him one more.
That's right. That was good. I tell you what, they have seen a pretty good ball club against these Dodgers when you talk about the Diamondbacks and the plays they've made.
This has been an exciting ball game. Reed Johnson is now in left field. And as a left fielder, Jay Gibbons reminded us that he's a good hitter. So Reed Johnson's out there. Kelly Johnson flips it into right center field. He's going to run hard just in case. It's a single for Johnson. When you're only down 2-0, the tying run with just a single strides to the plate. Kelly's had a good night, 2 of 3.
He had a good night, and you remember that first at bat, he looked terrible. He swung at a pitch like he swung at the pitcher's arm. Look at the spin on that ball. He stays right with it and just gets right on the fat part of the bat, stays with it, and gets a base hit.
The only 2 hits for the Diamondbacks. Reynolds takes a fastball high, or a Mass Mutual box score. And there's those 2 hits. We love our partnership with Mass Mutual Financial Group. We wish we could give them more hits. Kelly's got 7 hits in this homestand.
Hey, I never thought he was that good a hitter. He's really been a good hitter. in a quiet way. His average just really doesn't tell the story. It's 279, but he hits the ball hard. He makes what players call hard outs.
Mark pops it up to the right side. And again, still at 75 pitches in the 7th inning. Plenty left in that tank of Kershaw. I guess you get a mistake, you had better hit it.
He hasn't made many mistakes.
That's the hard part of that story. Dodgers #1 pick in 06 out of Highland Park High School in Dallas, Texas. Clayton Kershaw against Virginia boy Mark Reynolds. Inside, 3-1 the count.
You know, just as an aside, when he comes to his stretch position, he gets his hands high over his head. The only reason I'm even talking about it is he feels comfortable that way. Whether it's in the batter's box or the pitcher's mound, be comfortable. Look at this.
Chased a high fastball, 3-2. You can't, for me, say that enough to young baseball players.
Oh, you know, it makes no difference what you look like. Watch his. And when he lets loose, he lets loose.
Three-two. Chases up in the zone, pops it up. And for Mark Reynolds, he is retired, and that batting average on the season will drop below 200. And he hopes it doesn't stay there for very long. I want to remind everyone about the interactive kiosk near section 111 at Chase Field. It's Kachinko. Play Kachinko out there. It's brought to you by our good friends and partners with Gila River Casinos.
I wonder how many people are going to try to win that car.
I hope a lot. It's not the place you want to be, is it? For Mark Reynolds.
No. That hurts.
0 of 3 today. He was 4 of 11 against Kershaw coming in. Oh my, what a breaking ball.
Oh. I tell you, it's almost unhittable. It really is. I mean, he is frozen LaRoche's front foot.
1-1 the count.
He's going to keep him honest, too. He moved him back. If I'm Adam LaRoche, I'd be looking for a curveball right here. I don't know if I can hit it, but I think that's what he's trying to do, is set up that curveball after throwing that fastball high and tight.
He got one, and it was up a bit.
He had a pretty good cut at it.
Left-handers, Joe and folks at home, hit 195 against him. Right-handers, not much better, 223.
That'll make a rule you get 5 strikes against a pitcher like this.
Spoken like a true hitter, huh? What do you folks think?
Or non-hitter.
The 1-2, waves at a pitch in the dirt. Looked like he changed up on him. Has only thrown about 5 of those all told. A changeup in the dirt, and he got it.
I got 7 strikeouts for him. I mean, that wasn't even close to being a strike.
Rusty Ryle.
And now Rusty Ryle. Enright has thrown 81 pitches, has walked 1. Kershaw fires pitch number 83. He's walked none. Both of these pitchers, one of them 22, one of them 23, have walked 1 combined.
And still throwing hard. That was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
One and one. While at 2:59. 1-2 the count, right on by him.
You know, that shot before that, you saw how he was staring into the catcher. Many times a pitcher will shake you off just by staring at you. He just doesn't like to shake his head and let the whole ballpark know that he's shaking you off. And he's going to make sure he gets the pitch he wants.
Runner goes, doesn't matter. That's strike three. The domination continues. 22-year-old southpaw Texan, Clayton Kershaw. Town scoreboard. Well, for the Colorado Rockies, it's just about reaching miraculous is what it'll take, and probably won't happen. They're 4.5 back now. And more great pitching for San Francisco. Meantime, a nail biter. Cincinnati, San Diego 1-1 top of the fifth. San Diego started play today, 1/2 game back of San Francisco. And after San Diego rallies and wins that ball game, that's where they'll stay, 1/2 game back. Stephen Drew is at short. Uh-oh, breaking ball, got him. That's that slider that he deems an important part of his arsenal. And that time he overthrew it, so a hit batter. Abreu moves in to third base. Let's hope Mark Reynolds is all right.
He wanted that bat in there, so he let him hit. And Abreu has moved into third base, try to take that bat out of the hands of Kershaw by getting so close.
Bunts that one up the line. Hester sets himself nicely and throws in time, but a good bunt. 18 on the season. Joe Torre trying now. Just get one more. You've got a kid dealing like he is. Get that huge add-on run.
Of course, the ideal situation is always to get out of Grand Slam territory. But with a guy like Kershaw, I mean, one more run is a big, big run.
Here's Matt Kemp now, pinch hitting. Kemp hitting .248 this year. Certainly a down year with regard to his batting average, 23 homers. But is lightning in a bottle. He is, and you can see what a difference a year makes. Homers about the same, RBIs down 20. He was a 300 hitter last year. Chases the pitch down.
It's kind of an interesting defense the outfield has. They're shading him a little bit towards the right field line. A lot of room in left center field. Right here, look at that. Right-hand batter, but a lot of room there. Infield is pretty much straight away.
Which tells you they think he has a lot of power the other way, huh?
Oh, yeah, they're going to, he's got to make him keep that ball away from him, make him hit that way.
That pitch is up and in.
See, I don't like it when a catcher steps up like that. He stands up, he immediately tells the umpire, this is not going to be a strike. You don't have to stand up. I don't know. Somebody started that. Guy didn't like catchers. That's
just let him know, hey, give me fastball, one finger, and just tell him
that's
I
it.
want
Tell
it
him up. Give it to me up.
The 1-2. Good dive on that fastball. Good sink. 1-2 the count on the man out of Midwest City, Oklahoma. Carlos Rosa, Jordan Norberto. Well, here we stand in the 8th inning. Barry Enright still out there.
And with good stuff.
It's been forced, though, to keep it right here at 2-0. Got to keep it here against Kemp. Up into the seats it goes. Hey, what's brewing, by the way, on Fandemonium weekend? All sorts of goodies being given away all weekend long. John Eli is on the mound against Daniel Hudson. We're looking forward to seeing how Hudson finishes his home season. Chad Billingsley against Joe Saunders. That's on Sunday. We'll have that one for you. And by the way, the Going Gonzo for Kids excitement continues Saturday. And you can purchase a commemorative replica frame number 20, autographed by Gonzo. Swing and a miss. That's the slider, and that's the best one he's thrown tonight. That one diving down and away.
In a real good spot. Look at that spin. Watch it dive down. He couldn't reach that ball. The ball was out of the strike zone. That to me is a picture case of feeding on the greed of the hitter. Once you get 2 strikes, throw that slider out of the strike zone, and you get the out. Good pitching.
Ryan Terrio. Slider locked him up. By the way, to finish the thought, those frame number 20s are personally autographed by Gonzo. Pick up yours on the main concourse at section 130 or at the Diamond Level Lounge near gate F. Going Gonzo for Kids tomorrow. Purchase a 2000 commemorative replica frame number 20. It's a great item. That's a good thing. So like to make a donation and get yourself one of those in the process. That's fouled off.
Now he's thrown that ball outside a couple of times. It'll be interesting to see if he stays out there and moves it out a little bit more like he did on Kemp. Because Kemp, it was not a strike, but it was too close to take, and he just couldn't reach it. Don't like that pitch.
I like that slider.
Love it.
And he's been wanting to throw it. He's been talking about it for a couple of days. And now later in the ball game, he's thrown some of his best.
Look for it right here.
The 1-2. Fastball. And it's a ground ball. 8 solid innings from the right-hander Barry Enright. Well, there's a story, and don't get lost, because it's a story worth telling. Conversation, Kirk Gibson, Barry Enright. Not a handshake, just a conversation.
Talking his way in.
You think so, don't you?
Oh, yeah. He's strong. He's still got good stuff.
He's due up 3rd in the inning.
He's
not
putting
a
the
bad
helmet
hitter.
on. Not a bad hitter.
I would imagine they'll wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
When you get to the point you're down 2-0. Popped up, and it will be no reflection at all on Enright's outing should he not hit and come out of this ball game. It'll be a reflection on his offense. If Gibson deems that I've got some better options on my bench than a pitcher. So Roberts, he grabs the bat, he hops out there, so that will do it. What an outing, huh? That's a tough break for Gillespie, and for Enright for that matter. Hit that one right on the nose.
Right on the schnozzes, right.
Next year's All-Star Game is here at Chase Field. You can guarantee priority now for the All-Star Game seats by picking up 2011 D-back season tickets. Call today 602-462-4794. Find out more, dbacks.com/ASG. A 2-hit shutout being thrown by Clayton Kershaw. Now, we told you how kind of ugly his last start was against Colorado. We failed to tell you that in the start prior to that one, 2 starts ago, he threw his first major league shutout. And if you wait 80 starts to get your first big league shutout and then throw 2 in your next 3 starts, you're finding yourself. He shut out San Fran. High pop up. Roberts chased up. He has gotten a lot of help at the letters with that fastball. That's that late movement you talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Enright, tip of the cap, young man. Into you too. If so, where and why? Well, here is an answer. You may see him in a Cubs dugout because the idea of doing the impossible may intrigue him. J.D. DeGeorge coming up with that answer. So weigh in. Just a thought. Those are some tight confines there. Jordan Norberto is announced. Against Andre Ethier. Well, last chance here. You have to keep it at 2-0 and then take your whacks against Clayton Kershaw. There are crickets right now in that Dodgers bullpen. Ethier thinking, wow, pretty good pitch. Might have been outside, 0-1. Not a bad pitch there in the vein of Clayton Kershaw's breaking ball.
No. First pitch strike, though. That's the important thing.
0-2 the count.
Is it just me or that glove that he's wearing is such a big glove? Look at the webbing on it. He didn't have to worry about hiding that ball and getting in there and getting it. Look at it.
Threw 3 breaking balls in a row, so that big glove hides the ball very nicely. And Ethier is erased. That's a big old glove, and he's got to kind of work so it's a big old floppy glove.
Anything you can do to distract the hitter, whether it be in your motion, whether it be the glove, whatever. That's why they have that rule about the sweatshirt. But look at this, the size of this glove. I'm sure it's legal.
And that's part of our Fandemonium weekend, too. We're excited about it. A family of up to 4 will get to spend a weekend in Jordan's glove. And a lot of nice perks that go along with that. Look out. So many things to look at a baseball game, aren't there? From the seats or on TV.
It's an easy game to watch. You don't need all that strategy. Just watch the ball. Follow the ball. The fans give you a show.
You know, the movement of the defenders while the pitch is thrown back to the pitcher. They'll take a walk, peek at the scoreboard, reset, try to always keep that blood flowing, keep that heart pounding.
Oh, yeah. And you got a pitcher like Kershaw, you better keep your eye on him because he gets that ball and starts throwing.
Lifted left field, well struck. Way out of Reed Johnson, just his second home run of the year in 180 at-bats. He's not a home run hitter at all. He's a scrappy utility outfielder. Now that time he's a home run hitter. And that couldn't have been a bigger add-on run with what Kershaw's been doing.
Gives him more breathing room. Oh, that ball was room service right down the middle. I wonder what that conversation with Asmus was about.
Yeah, that's a guy.
Must have filled him in on what this guy throws and what to look for. Don Mattingly.
Dodgers manager starting next season. As that one is low.
Joe Torre has great confidence in him. He's speaking very highly of him. He's one of the guys he asked for when he took the job as a coach with Mattingly and Boa. I mean, they're completely opposite. Oh, a feisty guy. He could start a fight in an empty room. Whereas Mattingly, the thinker type.
He could start a fight in an empty room. Kirk Gibson takes that walk to the mound. We'll take the baseball from Jordan. And we will step aside. Runner on first, 1 out. Haven't had too much of this revolving door in the bullpen as this one has clicked along. But now, Rosa goes to work. Green, visit Lowe's for a chance to win a VIP World Series experience. Compliments of Scott's. They keep your lawn lush and green. They will always remember Papa Grande and the saves, especially in 2007, that he picked up as a member of the Diamondbacks. My vote goes to that man for the MVP that year, because without a strong ninth inning, there would be no really hard to explain 90-win season with regard to being outscored. If you're not locking games down, and you're not winning many of them. Jose Valverde pitches in Detroit now as Rosa goes to work.
Need that closer. That guy that comes in, it just picks up the whole ball club.
The team honestly hasn't been the same since.
Never know what to expect. When Papa Grande came in, you'd expect a dance coming out of the bullpen.
Yes, yes.
Hard fastball, and he saved the game for you.
By the way, 201 home runs allowed now by Arizona pitching. That's the highest in big league ball. Number 2 on that list is Baltimore, but they're 25 homers behind. Russ Mitchell.
Tell you, it's going to be an interesting spring training if Kirk Gibson is named the manager, and I would think that he would be.
And it was spring training that Kevin Towers talked about in his press conference. He said nothing of a definitive nature. And with regard to Towers and his experience, I certainly don't want to be in the business of reading tea leaves, but he did say to truly get a chance, Joe, he said he needed to have his own spring training.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna put his ideas in there. The other night, if somebody let off with a double, I'm not going to name names. I don't want to pick on anybody, but a double hitter came up, took 2 hard swings, and I'm saying, now he's got to hit that ground ball to the right side. He had his chance to knock in the run, popped it up, and you say to yourself, that's not the way you play this game. And I'm sure that's the Gibson way, is to hit that ball to the right side. He said a lot when he talked about that play of Young and Kelly Johnson to double up Tulowitzki. I have trouble saying his name.
Tulowitzki.
A
lot of pitchers have trouble saying his name.
No, they call him by his different name.
Yes, they do. Ranging to his left is Abreu. Not in time. A fabulous effort again. It was nearly another circus double play by this Diamondbacks infield. They turned one like it earlier.
Watch the pivot by Johnson when Abreu gives it to him. He sidearms it.
Ooh, boy, close.
It was close. You know, they have to protect themselves, the middle infielder. He just made it, and one way to protect yourself is to submarine that and make that guy slide 10 feet from the bag. Because he was right in on top of Johnson, but he still got the ball away and made it very close.
Changeup, and it misses low. 2-0 the count. Popped up and into the seats. Those Diamondbacks with the 201 home runs allowed, a gap of about 30 between where they stand and the Milwaukee Brewers. That's one of the biggest gaps between first and second in league home runs allowed in the history of the game. And that dates back to some of the times when they played without some fences in the 1880s. 3-1. And this is not to be unfair to the boys who hurl the baseball, but it's not all the ballpark. The hitter's park. Runner goes, and it's popped up. 3-2 the count.
He's still got to hit the ball.
Well, both teams too. I mean,
yeah,
both pitchers and. Rosa with that good fastball. Came over from Kansas City as the Diamondbacks tried to do what they could to fix what was broken in that bullpen. Brought him over. A couple of options that were tried. Runner will take off. Full count. 2 outs on A.J. Ellis. 3-0. That's low. That's ball 4. There was certainly a photo moment. If you enjoyed learning baseball through the voices of 2 legendary Hall of Fame broadcasters, and also if you enjoyed some big magical moments in the World Series, it was a photo opportunity when Joe Garagiola and Vin Scully stopped by. And Jody Jackson with a little bit more on how that came together. Jody?
Well, I was sitting in the dining area and just noticed kind of a commotion. I looked over and there was Vin Scully with Joe, and all of a sudden cameras were snapping, you know, left and right, flashes going off. Joe, I'm not sure if you even noticed, but when 2 Hall of Famers get together, 2 men that have not only impacted the broadcast world but the baseball world, it's an amazing moment, and it's a moment that plenty of people captured on film today, Joe. I'm not sure if you were aware, but I know you and Vin were talking for a while, and just wondering what your conversation was like. I know you guys obviously work together a lot.
We did that all right.
Hold that thought. We will get his answer when we come back. It was a magical moment, and there were a lot of cameras out. All right, one last chance, boys. Got some hitters in that bunch. deserves this honor, doesn't he?
Oh, he certainly does. He's just been a great pitcher. It's too bad that Enright didn't get more help because you're rooting for the hometown kid, but Kershaw's been really tough.
And he is working on his second career shutout. Chris Young to lead it off. So a quick finish to the story, folks. I mean, you get to the point where all you're doing is going to get a cup of coffee, and when you talk with a broadcasting buddy, everyone wants your photo. To me, that's a compliment, Joe.
Well, hey, listen, I didn't realize it, but I saw cameras. Studley was the first guy I saw, and cameras were snapping all over the place. And Vin and I talked about, yes, a little bit about the old days, but we got talking about family. He asked about Audrey. I asked about Sandy. He's got 18 grandchildren. He's coming back next year for his 63rd year. So it was a privilege to work with him. He's a legend, obviously, and we had a lot of fun. I used to always kid him. I'll have to tell you about this in a minute.
1-1 the count to Chris Young. The pitch is high.
Scully's the only guy I know as a broadcaster. Never goes to the bathroom, doesn't sweat, and not a hair out of place.
It's a perfect description of Vin Scully.
Oh, yeah. He's got a good sense of humor, and I enjoyed working with him.
The funny thing about that photo is the two gentlemen, the one on the left and the one on the right, never got a word in edgewise there.
No, Lasorda. Hard to get him to say anything.
There's the strike. 3-2 the count. Well, let us say it because we know you guys will be back together again next year, but publicly I'll say what a lot of people think. Thank you, both of you guys. The 3-2. High pop. Because even though I grew up in ballparks and in locker rooms, you guys taught us the game.
Well,
and your passion.
I appreciate that, but no, we talked baseball. You talk baseball, people are going to learn, they're going to be interested, and I was just glad to be a part of it. And I hope I come back next year.
Well, you'll be back next year. I mean, unless your fee's going to quadruple.
No.
You've been out fishing, new agents, and
no, I don't even have an agent now.
3-2 the count.
This is one of those jobs you'd leave work for nothing.
Line drive, base hit, left field. Talking baseball, and now you hope talking some sort of a miracle comeback against a left-hander who has been absolutely dominated.
And that's the thing about Chris Young that has happened this year. I mean, he had a rugged night. He bounced out, he fouled out, he flied to left, and he battled and stayed right with it, got a base hit, and he's got something going. Not looking for a home run, looking for a base hit. Keep it going.
Switch hitter. Batting right-handed, Tony Abreu. High fly ball, well struck into right center field. Talking at his count. He won't get there. Young, come on down. Abreu will stop right there. Coming in to score. 3-1. That one sailed right over the head of Kemp when just for a moment I thought he had that baseball. 3-1.
It looked like he was tracking it, but that ball did get over his head, and Chris Young was running all the way. He's looking for a fastball. He got it and jumped all over it.
So it will not be his second shutout in his last 3 starts. It will not be his second complete game of his career. It's been a real good one. And now these Arizona Diamondbacks utter the phrase that has become so popular offensively here in Arizona. When you're dominated by an ace and they go to the bullpen, you say clearly, anybody but Clayton Kershaw. We'll see how that works. So Clayton Kershaw is done, and he literally hands the baseball over to his bodyguard. 6 feet 6 inches tall, 250 pounds. He is from Curacao. His name is Kenley Jansen. And just a little bit more than a year ago, he was the starting catcher for Netherlands in the World Baseball Classic. He is a converted catcher this quickly to the major leagues, and this is what he has done in the big leagues.
As tall as he is, if he drops the ball, it's going to be 80 miles an hour.
What a great story. And there it goes, 93 to get things going.
6 feet 6.
6 feet 6. They sell him short by an inch there, 257. Wilmestad, Netherlands, Antilles, Curacao. That one is rolled foul. Now on the flip side, he can have a big old tall fella out there, but Kelly Johnson has homered in his last 3 games, and all 3 of them have been 2-run homers.
Well, he's got to face the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place hitters.
The 1-1. Kelly has that one buried in on his hands at 94. Going back is who? And he calls for it. And he makes the play for the first out.
Boy, he extends that front arm, and he's got it in a good spot there. He's right on the trademark.
Now, we know you're not booing. We know you're drooing. Not a whole lot to boo about Drew this year.
Not a whole lot to boo about anything the Diamondbacks have done tonight. They're trailing, yes, but they played a pretty good ball game.
They will talk about it. Well, they'll talk catcher to catcher out there on the mound.
Well, it looks like he relies on that fastball because he just rears back and pumps. He plays good old country hardball.
Something tells me, Joe, that you were just meant to pitch it if you're this young man. If it was just June of last year, that was the first time you ever pitched competitively in your life. In A ball, converted pitcher, June of last year, he's in the big leagues.
Wow. That's quick.
Stephen Drew takes a pitch away. The good Lord just meant for him to be a pitcher. And he didn't embrace it at first. He didn't really enjoy it.
Well, he wants to play every day. A pitcher, you're not going to play every day, but in relief, you're going to get up there almost every day.
The 1-0. Outside. 2-0.
This guy could break in the catcher's mitt for 2 innings. He is really firing.
Hitters count. Stephen had a huge series against the Rockies. 2-1. He was 6 of 12. He had a double. He had a triple. He had 2 homers in the Rockies series. He and Kelly Johnson were big offensive stars.
They were. I tell you, this big guy is just playing power baseball. He's rearing back and pumping.
Two and two, the count.
He ain't throwing a breaking ball or a changeup yet. Everything is fire. Heat.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Grew up as a neighbor with Jair Jurgens. In and out of the catcher's mitt, one of the aces of the Atlanta Braves, Jurgens, also same hometown as Andrew Jones. Only hit .234 in the minor leagues, from rookie ball to low A ball. And the coach that worked on his conversion, Charlie Huff.
Charlie Huff.
Outside, 3-2 the count.
Charlie Huff was a knuckleball pitcher. That was his bread and butter.
Well, he's been coaching for a long time, hasn't he?
Good baseball man. You can look for a fastball off this guy on any count.
Into the seats it goes. The 3-2 to Drew.
He's having some good hacks. Nothing but fastballs, and he's just not able to catch up to it and square it up.
It is Dodgers' debut, July 24th. Has fired 8 consecutive scoreless innings. This big, tall, converted catcher again deals the 3-2. Outside, ball 4.
What an at-bat by Drew. I mean, he sat on the bench and comes in to face this guy. He had to be thinking, boy, what a break I got. I sit on the bench and I got to face this flamethrower. How many pitches? Do you keep a count on that?
9 pitch at bat.
9 pitch
Kurt Zacher out to our left kept count on that, and a 9 pitch at bat.
9 fastballs. And I mean, they were hummers.
Oh, and 1 the count.
You'd have to think that LaRoche was thinking maybe because he walked the man, he's going to let up a little bit, and if he throws me a fastball, I'm going to jump all over. He had a good cut at it, but again, just didn't catch up to it.
Well, squaring the baseball up has not been commonplace at all tonight against Kershaw. And now this young flamethrower, Jansen.
Oh, this is no picnic facing him. There's a breaking ball.
And it was nasty.
Oh. That's one of those that'll have you talking to yourself.
Well, what a night he had. He's over there with Brad Ausmus, who someday will be a manager as well. Outside. Ryan Church is on deck. And the bullpen right now is quiet for the Dodgers. The 2-1 on the corner.
Whoa. You couldn't hit that pitch with a 4x8. Oh. Outside corner. Joyce had a good look at it too, the plate umpire.
The 2-2. Got it. So Adam goes down. It's a 4-strikeout night for LaRoche. A tough one. And so now Church gets a chance. So they'll talk about it now with Ryan Church. Arizona has 5 walk-off wins this year. Remember earlier this year on a trip out west, they suffered 4 consecutive walk-off losses. And an entire series worth of them against the Dodgers. So, be nice to maybe owe them one. Joe, what's this conversation about?
I think he's just breaking the mood is what he's trying to do, because there's no strategy involved here. The big guy has shown that he's just going to rear back and pump. God gave him a good fastball, and he's using it very well. Infielders came in to find out what was going on, but it was just one of those conversations to break up the mood. sure when he put that glove up to his mouth, he said to his catcher, just keep putting down fastball. You get ahead, maybe I'll try a breaking ball, but you know what my best pitch is. You can't get beat on your second pitch.
For Church, he takes low. 1-0 is the count. And Ryan starting to see a little bit more playing time and piece together some hits. The 1-0. 1-1 the count.
I don't know about you, Darren, but the last two pitches this big guy is throwing, you can hear it hitting to the glove. And that's a real pud that the catcher's got. I mean, it's not doctored up to make it sound fast. This guy is fast.
Church 6 for his last 16 with 2 home runs. Conrad Schmidt will come in case he might be needed to hit. Or catch. We'll see. Outside. There's that pop again into the catcher's mitt, but it's wide.
He missed his target. His catcher was looking for a pitch inside, a fastball in tight.
Church 3 for his last 5 with runners in scoring position, included in that a home run. He's got one out there. Into the corner, but he opened up a little bit early, so it reaches the seats and foul. 2-2. Cheating on that fastball. I don't blame him.
You have to have a tendency once in a while to pull that trigger a little bit early when you got a guy throwing that hard.
One breaking ball. He's thrown one, right?
One. Everything else has been nothing but fastball.
Of the 21 pitches, one.
Hey, it got him here. It's going to keep him here.
That time is called. Down by a pair. They're both on base, those tying runs. 2-2, strike 3. That's the ball game. Church thought it may have been a little bit below his knees. This young man, who a little bit more than a year ago was a minor league catcher, looks pretty darn good as a major league pitcher. Let's see again, Joe.
Well, that was high enough. Catcher tried to steal it, but he didn't have to.
Now, when Church turned around, he saw the mitt, but it had crossed at his knees.
The pitch is called as it crosses the plate.
Well, 3-1 is the final score. Joe and I will be back, but we're going to only come for just a brief moment on the post-game show. We got to get it out to the guys. Todd and Joe, for the final time this year. I'm excited to hear what they have to say, even though it was a tough one tonight for the Diamondbacks. Guys, take it away.